Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video we're going to talk about what is a hosted voice over IP PBX, or what we call a VOIP PBX, or what some people call an IP PBX. It's probably the most common name that you'd see it call online, IP PBX. It's basically a hosted voice over IP PBX. What is it? We're going to go into this right now. So, before we get into this, I'm going to explain the old PBXs so that you understand the comparison here so that it makes more sense. So back in the day, the old PBXs, or what we would call the old key systems or analog phone systems, basically you had a box that sits on the back of the wall. For those of you who have run a business, operated a business, or worked in a call center, or any type of business with a phone system, you know what I'm talking about. Had a big box somewhere in the back near where the power cables come in, or where your internet or cable service comes in for your cable TV, and it's a big box that usually sits about yay this big or something like that, that sits on the wall, sometimes much bigger, and it's got all these wires going into it. What those wires are that are going into that box is analog phone lines that are coming from your analog service provider. What that box is basically your phone system. It is the programming of the entire phone system. It is the programming that tells it how to route your calls. It also has typically some sort of an SD card or hard drive in it that actually stores voicemails that are left on it. Again, like I said, the programming, it has your numbers inside of it and how to route them and all that. It is essentially what a lot of my old school customers would call the phone system brain box on the back of the wall. It is essentially a computer, a server, if you will, but specifically for the purposes of holding all data and whatnot, and phone numbers and whatnot related to it for your telephone system. What does this mean? It means that that is your phone system. Where you're building to flood, or you're building to lose power, or whatever it may be, there goes your phone system. Not only there goes your communication, there goes your voicemails and your dial plan and all that gone out of the window. So what is a hosted IP PBX and what makes it different? The difference is, whereas with the old phone system like we discussed, where you have that phone box on the wall that then connects to your phones, in a hosted IP phone system, your phones are on the desk, just like any other phone system, but the wires don't go back to a brain box, if you will, or a phone server in the back. The wires go back to the back of the office, but they go to the internet, and they go out of your office into what we call the cloud. This is also why hosted IP phone systems, or IP PBXs, are also referred to as cloud-based phone systems, or cloud VoIP, or you've heard the different names for them. What is the advantage of this, and what does this mean for you? It means that not only is your phone system more disaster-proof, it means that it's literally not in your office. Your phones, yes, they're in the office, but the routing goes back to the internet and then goes back to the cloud, where your PBX is in the cloud, not in the office, where it can get damaged, stolen, flooded, come in contact with water, or lose power, things like that. So I wanted to throw out there, which we already stated, some of the advantages of these, we're going to go through them. Number one, as I already stated, it's much more disaster proof. It's in the cloud. It's not on the premise. This is why, for a lot of people that you may have talked to that use a hosted IP PBX or a cloud phone system, you've heard them say, oh, well, the power's out of the office because of the snowstorm, or the power's out of the office because of an outage in the area. I just need to hop online really quick and forward all of our office calls to my cell phone, or forward all the office calls to the assistant's home phone. That's because your system is in the cloud, so when your office is down and out, whether it be power or natural disaster, you're not completely out. Yes, your phones may not work at the office, but you simply have the option of going somewhere where you can get internet, like your home or an internet cafe, and telling the system where to reroute calls, or just pick up your phone from your desk at the office and plug it into the internet somewhere else so that you can continue to receive calls. Plainly put, the system's wire doesn't need to go back to the office to the box. Your phone just needs to connect to the internet because the PBX for your system is in the cloud, and that's where all your programming is. Safe from theft, safe from disaster, and so on and so forth, or what it might be. One other thing I want to throw out there about another advantage about a hosted VoIP PBX versus the old analog systems is it's a lower cost. The reason the cost is lower is because you don't have to have actual phone lines. So you're not paying a carrier for phone lines anymore. You're just paying a lesser cost for a hosted phone service, but then all you need is internet. The other nice thing about these types of phone systems is there really is no long-term maintenance to them. As I stated before, with one of the old school analog PBXs, that box that you typically see in the back that's on the back wall, that is not only an expensive box, but the parts that are in it are really expensive to maintain. More importantly, because those types of phone systems are much older technology, it is almost impossible to find parts for those things. And when you do, the manufacturer knows that you can't get them from much anywhere else. So they pretty much just kind of rake you over the coals as far as the price. I've seen parts for those systems go as high as $4,000 to $14,000 when the same business for less than $200 a month could have a full-fledged system that is in the cloud, disaster-proof, and is maintained by your cloud-hosted voice over IP PBX company. So keep that in mind, as the cost of ownership is almost nothing with a hosted IP PBX. The cost of ownership as far as maintenance and wear and tear is literally your phone's on the desk. If you drop or break a phone, yeah, you've got to replace that phone. But other than that, there is no maintaining that box that's in the back or anything like that. You just need to make sure that you have intact internet and that you've got intact wiring for the phone to plug into that goes back to the internet, which is a pretty common prerequisite for any office these days that's got a computer at a desk, and so on and so forth. So anyways, that concludes our video of what is a hosted voice over IP PBX, or what is also commonly referred to as a VOIP PBX or cloud-based phone system. If any of you watching this video have any questions about a hosted VOIP PBX or are entertaining one, as you know, I represent all carriers in the United States, and I'm more than happy to not only help you shop carriers and dare and compare, but to also answer any questions you may have. Also, if you're watching this video about what is a hosted VOIP PBX, don't forget to also watch our video, The 5 Myths About Voice over IP and Voice over IP PBXs. It's a really good video for those of you who are watching this that are entertaining voice over IP for your business. Again, I'm Prince Rich with Bridge Technology Group, and I'll chat with you guys again in the next video.